DL Gaming. My name is Christian.
My name is Bobby.
I'm Emilio, and I'm in my new, I don't know if I'm happy about it. The old podcast room got changed to my office now. So it sounds echoey to me, but I guess this mic is not picking that up. So I am going to turn this into a VR computer paradise, I think. So I just got it all together. I've played 0 video games this week. Oh, last week I got kicked out of the kitchen. So when I came back from camping, I found my computer in this room in a disarray. Like what's a good word for it? The whole thing was just a debacle, I would say. It was I had to piece it all together. I still haven't pieced it all together, but yeah, this is good. I at least we don't have to listen to blenders, children, things like that.
Dude, but that chaos, there was something awesome about it, you know?
I guess, man. Not for me. Not for me.
No.
How was your guys' 2 weeks? I haven't spoken to you for 2 weeks.
I bought a house. That's been stressful as shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
I bet.
What's the address?
When do you move? Can you bring it up on Google Maps?
Yeah, we can bring it up. Yeah, for
What's
sure.
the longitude and latitude?
The longitude and latitude. It is somewhere on this earth. It's gonna be a great place. I'm super excited. Super excited.
You're in the
Congratulations, man. That's a
Alberta
huge
area,
step.
right?
The Alberta area? Yeah.
Okay, because I've been making a lot of friends on Sea of Thieves, and one of them was this guy, and I know he's Canadian, and like he's an older gentleman, and he was saying he's in the Alberta area, and I was like, oh yeah, I got a friend out there, and then he started complaining about Trudeau for like half an hour.
Oh yeah, that's a big pastime over here. So not surprising.
That's a province?
That is a province. The Alberta area is a province. Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, now that we got that out of the way, geography section is out of the way. Let's talk about some video games. Let's get on the radar where these are games that have been brought to our attention, but we haven't played for whatever reason. I guess I'll start with something I'm kind of excited about. HAWKEN Reborn. Bobby, I'm getting a little. I might be conflating 2 games. So at the time, there was 2 fast-paced first-person mech games. One of them was HAWKEN, and the other one, do you remember the name of the other one?
I don't. We always forget this. Yeah, we had a whole episode, and I think it might be named HAWKEN verse, whatever the other game was.
Yeah. That sounds like us. And I don't remember which one I liked more. I think it was HAWKEN, though. And so, yeah, it's a first-person, online, free-to-play, I believe, versus like death battle, basically. Very fast-paced shooting, dashing, all this stuff, and you're in this big city, and you can jump on like rooftops, and there was some destructibility in the city. Anyway, it was fun as hell. We played it for I feel like a whole summer.
Wasn't that long.
Wasn't that long? I did.
It was like a whole week. Yeah, and I found the episode. It was HAWKEN versus Mech Warrior. Which game simulates mechanized combat better?
Wow.
Look at us.
Is that a try-hard subtitle, Bobby?
This is back in March 17th of 2014, back when we did Try Hard. Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, HAWKEN 2 or Reborn is coming out, and so it's same old mechs, but faster computers and faster fucking graphical processing and all that stuff. So I'll definitely check it out when it comes out. If it's free to play, it's almost like oof.
Well, what about talk about oof, dude? What about those reviews?
What if
is it already out?
Came out? What if it
I don't think it was out when. Okay,
I'm looking at the Steam page. It
We're
says
in the
HAWKEN
future.
Oh, jeez.
22%.
I will not be touching this.
Why
This
not?
is what
You just
happens
said
when
you just said you would. Dude, you're not going to go back on your word like that.
Yeah, totally will. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Forget everything I just said. Well, there are 34 people playing it right now, so
the
Could be
devs.
the 35th.
We got to stay online, guys. Otherwise, we'll have 0 people playing. They got the janitor playing too, trying to get those counts up. Yeah, unfortunately, no, I will not be trying this. And now I'm sorry I wasted everyone's time. Bobby, what do you got? That was HAWKEN Reborn.
don't play it. HAWKEN Re Dead.
Wow. Just stomping
Yikes.
all over the hawk, dude.
This dead horse can take a beating.
I've got a game here that has been on my wish list for a long time. It's called Demons Ate My Neighbors, and it's coming out June. Now, I've brought this up before, but it's been a long time. And I just wanted to bring it up again because it looks like it's coming out next month. This game looks like a spiritual successor of Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which was one of my all-time favorite games to play back in the day. Like, just absolutely one of my top co-op games on the console. Uh, I I don't think I had this on Super Nintendo, but I had a friend who had it on Sega Genesis, and this was always the game I wanted to play on when I was over at his place. And I never even got that far. It had like 100 levels or something like that, and I think I only made it up to 40. But I absolutely love that game, and I'm hoping Demons Ate My Neighbors is going to be. It's going to have everything that I loved about that game, but also the minor necessary improvements. It is co-op. It says shared split screen, so it doesn't look like online co-op, but Steam has that remote play, so I guess you could just use that.
Bobby, do you think it was actually good, or like we just didn't have anything better?
I mean, it was definitely good for its time, but yeah, a lot of these games, like the Toe Jam and Earl game, they made a new one, and it was a lot like the original, but it was
Is
just
that what you want here?
I don't know, man. It's tough with these games. Like it's got to be close enough to the original, but then it's got to do some other stuff different because if you just made a straight remake of the original, it's just not going to be very good. You know who handled these really well was whoever made Streets of Rage 4 and what was the other one? I think it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that they remade or something, but they did a great job of just staying true to the original, but also reinventing it a bit, modernizing it.
Yeah, I think you have to do that.
Do you
You
guys
don't
ever
have to, I
wish
guess.
in real life that demons would eat your neighbors?
I don't know my
No.
neighbors.
Have you ever had like some horrible neighbors? You're just like, wow, demons really would come in
I've
handy.
been the I've been the horrible neighbor. No, but the first place I moved out to, oh man, I felt sorry for this lady. I lived above a lady. I called her the cat lady, or actually, I'm sorry, I lived next door to her, and I called her the cat lady because she had a bunch of cats, and they would always come to the window, and I'd see them there. But I would, like play music too loud, just not even realize that it was it was like the first time moving out on my own. So it was like, I'm free. I'm going to do everything I want. And then you still realize, like, no, you have to be respectful of everyone you live around. But yeah.
I had
So, yeah.
neighbors that were demons, if I may do a quick aside.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Do you?
Right? Yeah. Didn't you have some neighbors that were awful, or was that your landlord, your last
Yeah, my
landlord?
landlord was awful.
Oh,
She might have been, demon-like at least. But no, I
yeah.
had these neighbors who lived above me when I first moved out too, and I had this drum set in my room, but it was an electric drum set, and I'd smash on it, and I didn't think I was making that much noise, but then when I kept walking out, they kept on calling me like Satan spawn, and like they were using very like biblical terms, and they would always call the cops on me. And the cops came to the door once and said, "Are you doing any like, you know, your neighbors are saying you're doing like rituals, you're being really loud, you're like burning candles all the time." I was like, no, I'm just no, I'm doing none of that. I'm just playing my drums, maybe having a couple friends over, but nothing crazy. And they were just not well. They would like throw stuff at me when I left the apartment, and like, yeah,
Jeez, dude.
yeah, the church is a big effect on some people. Anyways, that's my story.
I think if demons ate Bobby's neighbor, he wouldn't even know for about 2
No,
months.
dude,
at
nobody
least.
knows. We don't fraternize over here. I got a theory. The closer you are to your neighbors, like physically located, the more socially distanced you are from them. I go to friends' houses that they live in the suburbs, and they're all pretty spread out, and they know, like, everybody knows everybody. They know where like the hidden key is in case they need to get into the house, all that stuff. I live like basically with roommates here. I'm wall to wall with all my neighbors. I don't know a single one of them, and I don't really want to either.
Wow, dude, I live in this townhouse complex, and and there's like 100 townhouses, and all my neighbors are pretty cool. So I made a community Discord group for us all to chat. Just if anyone's stuff gets stolen or stuff like that, neighborly. Neighborly is important, Bobby.
I think it's you, Bobby. I'm going to go ahead and say that your theory sucks, and you just don't say hi to people in the elevator. I think that's basically what it comes down to.
No, dude, I'm telling you, when you live this close, you don't want to be on personal terms with them. But yeah,
I was trying to fuck all my neighbors when I lived in an apartment downtown.
That sounds like an even worse idea. All right, who's next?
Well, I'll go. Jesus. Total War Pharaoh, real quick. So I'm going to wait for Nick to really dive into this, because as this was happening, we were messaging each other on Discord, super excited. We were like, what's the new Total War going to be? Oh my God, Total War Medieval? Total War Empire? And then Pharaoh popped up, and we were like, Total War Pharaoh? What is this? It's a historical title, people think. We don't really know that much about it. It's by the same studio that made the Three Kingdoms games, which the last Total War I really enjoyed was Three Kingdoms. It's about the Bronze Age collapse. So if you know what that is, we're talking ancient Egypt, the Bronze Age, like Assyrians and stuff. And we still, to this day, don't know why all these people are no longer here. What collapsed their civilization? It's a big question mark. So I'm interested to play this game, and it's hype. And next week, me and Nick are going to pitch each other other Total War ideas. I think just feeling it out right now, Total War A Bug's Life would be fucking amazing. It
would be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking an army of made up of different bugs. That's fucking sweet,
dude. Yeah. Ladybug Riders.
It was too long ago, right? We don't have any history on how Egyptians fought or anything, or do we?
I think we know a little. I'm definitely not an expert, but I think we know a little bit about how they fought. What we don't know is, like, did all these civilizations disappear because of famine? In some texts, they reference these sea people who might be migrating to the area and, like, knocking over all these civilizations like dominoes, or it might be a combination of factors. But we have, like, ancient Assyrian, like, laws and Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff like that, so it's not completely lost.
Well, I guess you didn't watch Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, did you?
Fuck that guy and fuck that show. Yeah, I didn't. Graham Hancock can suck something.
All right. I'm not saying he's right, but maybe you should listen to him. All right.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You have to vet all opinions before you can, you don't want to be.
What's the saying? Don't make sure your brain is so open that your thoughts fall out or something like that. I'm butchering that. But there's people who believe in the flat earth, dude. They went looking for truth. Look where it ended up with them. On a 2D plane. They're on YouTube. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And that was Total War Pharaoh?
Total War Pharaoh. Emilio, Mortal Kombat 1? What year is this?
Yeah. It's a reboot. So... when this got announced, I was like, what is going on with the story? Like, I have no idea, like the grand overarching story. So thankfully somebody put together like a 7-minute video explaining everything that happened. And so it's been rebooted. This is going to be the 3rd or 4th reboot that they've done it in the first 11 games. So like Mortal Kombat 4 or 5 was a reboot, and then like 7 was a reboot, and then 9 was a reboot, and then so this isn't par for the course for them, I guess. But at the end of 11, the good guys won. Turns out Liu Kang wins every single fucking tournament, pretty much. Like it's like foregone conclusion. He wins and he saves the Earth realm every single time. But this time, the Mistress of Time got involved, and so when they restarted this time, Liu Kang and Raiden, I think, made like they knew before it got reset, so they started to set up things in the way that they thought would foster a paradise. And then so that's why the video is like, you made this perfect place, and I'm gonna ruin it all, but we all know who that person is. So yeah, I think this is the first time that it's been rebooted, and the characters know that it's been rebooted. guess. I don't know if that changes anything, but yeah, we're starting all over, guys. So, it's the original tournament where you got to fight. What is it? The different realms fight each other 6 times in a row. If you lose 6 times in a row, then that realm gets to invade the other realm or take it over or consume it or something. And then, so this tournament is the 6th tournament or whatever. It's all down to Liu Kang, That's dude. I'm not. That's the story. I didn't write it.
I didn't write it.
I'm just asking you to listen. Is the story something that a lot of like Mortal Kombat fans enjoy about it?
I don't think so, but it was just really well done on these last ones. They're very story, or they're very, there's a lot of like interplay between the characters and whether or not the overarching story matters, at least the interplay between the characters is actually pretty cool. And the small stories within the grand story is, they're pretty good. Just kind of like what's the superhero one that they made too?
Justice, something.
Yeah,
Justice.
Injustice. Those are pretty good.
Injustice.
Just to play for the story and for the interactions. So that was Mortal Kombat 1.
And that story is actually, according to Graham Hancock, the cradle of civilization. That's where it came from. The 6th fight.
Yep.
All right. I've got one more game here that is actually a DLC. So Gunfire Reborn is a game that I like going back to, especially if other people are playing it. If the Friday night crew's on and they're playing this, I'll definitely jump back into it. The game has come such a long way. They've added more characters, more weapons, changed the talent trees a little bit. But they have their first DLC that's coming out in just a few days here called Gunfire Reborn, Artisan and Magician. Not a very creative title because this is just describing the 2 new characters that are included in the DLC.
Yeah.
One character, he throws these cards out. He's like Gambit. I don't know exactly how they work, but he throws cards at people. The other character calls down a mech that attacks enemies. They're also adding 4 new guns, like a squid gun, and this is really confusing. A brick that you just throw at people repeatedely.
It's effective throughout the years. It's one of the greatest projectiles.
Don't underestimate the brick. Yeah,
it's coming back.
It's making a comeback. We all saw Home Alone too. You know how damaging a brick can be.
I have not. Sorry. Is that a good movie?
Wow.
Is he really home alone? There's always someone else coming out.
He's lost in New York, so he's not exactly home alone, but he kind of is.
Watch it this Christmas, man. It's really good.
Yeah. And the funniest thing, while we're on the Home Alone topic, big bird walk we're going on here. Sorry, folks.
Bird walk, I love that.
That's what my 5th grade teacher used to call it when he went on a tangent. We're going on a bird walk. I'm just keeping it alive, dude. I'm keeping it alive, dude. Bird walk. Now that I say it, it does sound ridiculous.
I like it though, but I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, you knew what it was.
Yeah. No explaining needed. Yeah, I've just never heard of it before.
Oh man, we went on a bird walk from my bird walk, dude. Back to the second bird walk. So I was playing with Nyanko. He's from Belgium, and we were talking about Home Alone, and he's like, you know what they called that in France? And I was like, no. And he tells me the title, and I just started laughing. They call it "Mommy, I Missed the Plane." That's it. That's the title. Yeah.
Does he miss a plane in the first one? I guess he does, huh?
Yeah, that's why he's home alone, because he missed the plane.
Yeah,
but it's just, I don't know why they rename things like that. But anyway, so yeah, the Gunfire Reborn, Artisan and Magician, 4 new guns, 2 new characters coming out real soon here. No price yet, but I don't know, man. This is just one of those games that I always come back to. I always leave it installed. So I'll probably pick this up. Although it's going to be hard to top the bird character. I really like that guy.
And then you played Robo fucking, the other game that's very much like this, but you didn't like it as much, right?
Yeah, and I remember I talked about this. It's on Game Pass, and I can't remember the name of it. It is Robo something, but It seems like everything about that game would be better than this, but for some reason I just like this one more. Maybe it's because I played it first and like that's the standard I'm judging the other one by, but I don't know. I like this one more.
Well, hopefully that DLC is better than Mommy I Missed a Plane 2.
Yeah.
3 was terrible, by the way. And there's no plane in that one, I don't think.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, they kept making those movies. I think they
3
had
are
4 of them, and then there was like a reboot or something, or like
with a new kid.
a new one like a couple years ago.
So the
Yeah.
general premise is he can't get to where he needs to for Christmas, and he's stuck without
He
any
gets
parental supervision.
Well, you've seen the first Home Alone, right?
I've not seen any Home
Oh
Alone.
my
Oh,
God.
jeez, dude.
Oh my God. What are we doing here?
But
What are they-
I've been Home Alone a couple times though, if that helps.
This is crazy. It's because you're so much younger than us. I forget
Yeah.
you've missed these cultural touchstones, dude. Like you weren't around for Home Alone. Like you weren't part of that craze, dude. You weren't there when the Bum Bum song hit #1 on TRL, dude. You don't
I
understand.
don't know what any
me.
of those words mean. I mean, I know what the words in between mean, but I like TLD. What's TRD? What is that? I have no idea.
TRL, Total Request, MTV, Total Request Live,
You might
Yeah.
not know what MTV is, dude.
I know what MTV is because
MTV.
I would, yeah. Oh, that helped. Thank you. I would sneak, in my young biblical days, I would sneak channels sometimes that had women wearing, things that weren't floor length skirts, and
Yes.
MTV had that, and
Showing a little
That's-
ankle.
showing a little ankle. That was nice for me as a kid.
I'm glad you have
Oh,
fond
man.
memories of that. What color should I paint this wall behind me, guys? What are you thinking?
Purple.
I don't know if that would look very good on screen.
Always the technical answer.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we'll talk about it later.
You should paint it something though, because
Gray
it
like
looks
my
a little ratty.
thoughts. Hmm?
Gray's a good neutral color. Actually, it makes other colors pop, and it, yeah, that might be good. Especially like they say, if you're editing, like if you're super serious about editing, you should be in a gray room because then you get an accurate depiction of colors.
What color is going to make my Mexican pigment pop?
Bright yellow.
Bright yellow.
I love a bright yellow wall, a feature wall.
Something
right
real
behind it.
festive.
Yeah.
All right. Bobby, did you play Wizard of Legend? Do you remember this?
That name sounds so familiar.
It was
But
an early roguelike. It was an action roguelike, and it was very cool, man. I played a lot of it. So it's very fast-paced, top-down action roguelike, and you have the powers of the elements at your disposal. So each element has this like skill tree, and so you can go down it. You could go down air or earth or fire and all those things, but then later on you can start mixing them up. I've never seen a game, I've gone on and on about synergies, how much I enjoy them in games, and putting things together, and it's hard to develop something like that because you got 200 abilities and each one of them mixes together. It's like one of those a billion different combinations, and that's how you feel when you're playing this. And so you just tinker, you're just moving things around, and that was the huge selling point for me. Just like, oh, if I trap him with my air tornado but then stomp him with the fucking brick, oh, there he goes, there's the brick.
Bricks.
There's the brick.
Yeah. And then you light them all on fire, and then you go for the biggest combo. It's really fun. I never beat it. But yeah, part 2 is coming out. Higher res graphics. They said that they're gonna keep doing, and it was co-op. They're gonna keep doing what they do and have all the elements and the tinkering and all that. So yeah, this will be probably a pickup for me, unless it's Mo City Negative and it came out already and I don't even know about it and I wasted everybody's time again.
That's a good caveat. That's a good caveat to pop in there. That's
Yeah,
good.
I didn't click on it. Doing
It
all
looks
of this,
awesome.
remember. Yeah, it's
Apparently,
really
I have not played Wizard of Legend. I'm looking at the Steam page, no hours played, don't own the game. So you must have talked about this a lot because I remember this very well.
Christian, you and Rianne could play the first one together because it's very Hades. The action is like Hades, so but it's all pretty. There's no story; it's just action. But you could probably get this super cheap, like a couple bucks, and play
Dude,
co-op.
I've been trying to get Rianne to play other roguelikes with me, or just other games in general. And she'll play like a couple hours or something. Like we'll dally in other games, but then she'll always go back to Hades. It's like convincing a plant they shouldn't have water. Like she just goes to it. She's like 700th hour, 800th hour. I can't get enough Hades. But she still hasn't 100%ed it, so I think she needs to get good, kind of.
Warconia says it should be baby blue or Canadian red. I'm guessing Canadian red is like the flag. That's a very red. That would be awful on video.
Yeah, those are
like
very
how he's
loud
referring
colors.
to it as Canadian red.
You guys have the best fucking flag. Your flag is fucking dope.
No, our flag fucking sucks.
It's got a leaf on it, dude. I don't know.
I think it just pops. It's just like boom.
I mean, I like the design, but I mean, you got a leaf on your flag.
We are the forest people.
That's cool, dude. The Lebanese flag with the evergreen tree on it, that's also pretty cool. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
what else we got?
Halls of Torment.
Halls of Torment is another vampire survival game. I'm going to stick with that moniker. So there's so many of these, but this one, it looks pretty cool because it looks like Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, somewhere in between there. It's a wave survival roguelike. So you guys know what this is already. It's Vampire Survivor or Soulstone Survivors, whatever. There's a million of these, but this one brings back some nostalgia. All the sound effects seem to be like from straight out of Diablo as well. Even the potion for your health and stuff. So if you want to play Vampire Survival with a Diablo skin, this is the one for you. It's overwhelmingly positive right now. It's like 450. I might pick it up. No, it looks good. And that is Halls of Torment.
Oh, yeah, that looks like straight up like Diablo 2 graphics.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess we'll be going over to highlights. Highlights are games that we did play and we do want to talk about. Christian, you have a lot of letters there. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what's fucking going on here. I played Star Wars Rebellion again, and we've talked about Star Wars Rebellion ad nauseum, so I want to keep it short because this is it's such a great game, and I'm always like, I'm not going to enjoy it when I go back. Like every time I'm like, it's probably hasn't held up. I'm playing all these like Total War games, Victoria 3, all these grand strategy titles, and I'm like, these are awesome, but let's try Star Wars Rebellion again, And every time I go back, it's fucking fun. I won as the Rebellion against the Empire in 6 hours, and I feel like with all these new grand strategy games, they just take so much longer to actually finish a round. Like if I was to ask people who play Civ what percentage of time do you actually finish a game? I think the average would be like 20%, 15%. Like you're missing out on a huge part of the game because the first part of the game is really the best part when you're first establishing your Civ and getting things going. And then a lot of it can be a slog depending on what's happening on the field. And Star Wars Rebellion never feels like a slog because you win when you take your opponent's capital. You can make units pretty quickly. Any unit can go to any planet. It just takes a little bit longer. There's not like terrain you have to move through. And I'm just wondering, like, were these decisions, was this game made like this just because of the hardware at the time and like they couldn't make a 50-hour grand strategy game? Or was it always the intention to produce something that you could finish in 6 hours, and maybe we should go back to that? Because if you know of a grand strategy game you can finish in 6 hours, let me know. But I've played a lot of them and I can't. I would love one. I would love one that I could finish a game in 2 days. That'd be great.
It's
grand strategies have become too grand.
Too grand.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
A lot of times, games back in the day, they did have hardware constraints, and I feel like that's not much of a issue anymore because you dumb your game down to kind of fit what you want to do. But speaking of Mortal Kombat, the reason that Shang Tsung, the boss character, was a morph, he morphed into other people to do their specials, is because they ran out of memory on their chips for the cabinets. Like they couldn't fit any more like special moves. So they were like, let's just make him turn into the other characters and do their moves. And so that's why fucking that happened. But you end up with this concept that's pretty cool. Sometimes constraints pressure makes diamonds,
Yeah,
kids.
totally. And scope creep in some of these new games. Like I just played Age of Wonders 4 grand strategy game, and it's awesome. It's super fun. But at the end of the game, I was having that same thing. Like I'm just playing this to finish it now. Like I've done pretty much
Yeah.
everything there is to do, and I just want to finish it so I can play the next one. But shouldn't I just stop right now? Because it's just 50 turns, which is quite a long time of nothing. And Star Wars Rebellion, as old as it is, 1998. It's crazy.
I bought that game off the shelf.
Wow, dude. This was one
Did
of
you
the
ever
first.
finish it, Bobby? Did you ever
Oh yeah,
defeat
yeah,
it?
yeah. And you know what's funny is if you search around for it now, there's actually a tabletop game or a board game called
Yeah,
Rebellion, and it
yeah.
actually looks pretty good too.
Dude, I would love to play that. Yeah, I was looking up guides and I ran into that this weekend. I was like, what's this board game? Yeah,
It's probably on
Yeah.
GTS, guys. You guys could totally play it. It's
probably.
probably on, yeah. Um,
Bobby doesn't want
what
to
was-
face me because he'll lose, sadly.
I don't know about that. Only if I play the Empire.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's the modding community look like
So
for this game?
I was expecting this time when I went into it, I was like, I'm going to look for mods. I'm going to try to get the graphics up, the interface. Maybe I can get it at least to 1280 on my screen. That'd be cool. Some sort of AI upscaling. But I couldn't find nothing. I found a
Really?
mod someone was working on in
long time ago.
2015 to make multiplayer more stable. But other than that, I couldn't find anything for like graphics or advanced settings or just like quality of life things. Like this game has maybe like 50 hotkeys that are needed to play it efficiently. Alt, all your number keys do something different and give you different screens, for example. That only exists in the manual. You can't just click around and find that. You just have to know. So yeah, it would be awesome if there was some mods, and maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places, but I couldn't find any.
No. So my dream of the Gungan taking over the Empire is not gonna happen.
Well, you can do that in what's the other Star Wars?
Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds.
Yeah, Galactic
Yeah.
Battlegrounds.
You can
The
play as
other
the
one-
Gungans?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like an Age of Empires clone. The Gungans can build stuff underwater. It's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. It's crazy that they made you do voices for the units in the game, dude. That's awesome.
It's true. What else is going on? So many things to click on. All right, that was what was that?
Star Wars
Simpsons.
Rebellion.
It's about Star Wars
What's-
Rebellion.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Is that what's coming up?
Yeah, because remember, I don't know, like 6 months ago, I was really into this game, and I totally forgot that I was playing it because it's on Epic, and I don't load Epic up very often. And I went, what did I go play? Oh, Breath's Edge was free and highly recommended, and I went and played that. And when I played that, I saw this again, and still great game. I'm gonna finish this. That's probably what I'm playing the most right now. Which means I played it like 2 hours 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I'm definitely into it. It's funny when I was 5-6 hours into this game and I come back to it and I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, it's laughable, dude, watching Laura just trip and fall over and over and die over and over because I forgot what tripwires look like. I forgot how to disarm them. I forgot how to wall run. I forgot all that shit, dude. This poor girl, dude. It was like a fucking it was like I was being a masochist with like a pin cushion or whatever. It was awful. And it's extremely brutal. Like, Laura gets fucked up, dude. It's one of the I remember when the first of the reboots came out, they were like, why are they so brutal with this girl? Like, it's kind of disturbing. And so when you fall in a pit of fucking spikes, sometimes it's ragdoll physics, but sometimes her eyes are looking at you in the screen like, why?
Oh my
it's
God,
like,
dude.
fuck, dude, it's fucked.
Damn.
Yeah, it's some of the most disturbing deaths because she's like a pretty girl, and she's just like, oh, it's terrible. Fucking a lion or a fucking cougar bites her in the back of the head. Yeah, and I love it. It's a good game. And so I'll keep playing this, and it was free. I couldn't believe that they were giving this game away for free on Epic a long time ago. It was like early on. Anyway, yeah, I'll be playing that. That and XCOM 2 whenever I get a chance. I got XCOM 2 to be working on my Steam Deck. I have an 8-hour shift, graveyard shift tonight. Maybe I'll have some time for some Xbox. I mean, some XCOM. So that was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And by the way, how are you supposed to know the difference between the 3 remakes? They're all just like Shadow of the Tomb Raider lived next door. Like there's no, you have no idea what. It doesn't make any sense. You're just supposed to know.
Yeah, they're not numbered or anything. I
No.
think Rise of the Tomb Raider was the second one. It was Tomb Raider, Rise, and then Shadow, I think. But I don't know. I only played the first one, and I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
of course.
Yeah.
Big
All right.
surprise.
So this week, or last week, Nick bought me Warhammer 40K Boltgun. So thank you very much. He's playing it as well. So I'm sure we'll hear about it from him when he comes back. But I did play it. I think it's got 3 chapters, and I'm just about at the end of the first one. So that'll give you an idea about how far into the game I am. This is the boomer shooter I was talking about last week, the retro style Warhammer 40K, where you play as a Space Marine, very gory, shooting up all these monsters, and there's blood and guts everywhere. Um, Pretty good. There's not as much. I thought there was some sort of like RPG element or like a leveling up in there, but I don't think there is. It's pretty standard. You run around and you find bigger and better guns as you go around. Now it does say when I flip through the guns, it says like strength 3 or strength 5 or strength 7. So I don't know if I'm somehow leveling up the gun or what's happening with that. I'm not quite sure. Um, and yeah, I have not got. I assume there's a boss fight at the end of each of these, so I haven't got to the boss fight quite yet. But I will say, the game when you start it, it recommends the lowest difficulty. That's what it's set to by default. So I
Did you
knocked it up
take that?
to no, I knocked it up to medium because I figured like that's probably more acceptable. It's kind of hard to judge difficulty um, in games too, because they're always doing it by their own metric. So usually the recommended difficulty is like what you should be playing on. So I was like, okay, maybe this is one of those games where like you're supposed to start on the low difficulty, unlock some stuff, move up to the medium or something. I don't know. But I started on medium and it was way too easy. The first like 5 or 6 levels, like just you're just kind of ripping through every enemy, and it's kind of boring. So you have to. I think you probably do need to put it on hard. I think there's like 4 or 5 difficulties, but I think the third one is probably the best for most people. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. I mean, it's got a good feel for it. I'm not a Warhammer 40K fan, so I'm just tearing through monsters, right? Like I don't know who these enemies are or like what their significance is. So I that is all kind of lost on me. But it's got a good feel to it. Um,
Is this
it's got
better than Nightmare Reaper? Like just mechanics and how the guns feel and everything. I'm looking at a video, or I was looking at a video, and it looks so satisfying.
hmm Yeah, the enemies, when you start getting later in the game, the enemies get a little more spongy, so you have to hit them a lot more. And I feel like I don't see that a whole lot in. I guess Doom was kind of like that when you got to the later stages, but yeah, I mean it's pretty good. I'm not going to say they knocked it out of the park, but maybe when I get to the boss fight or I get further into the game, it'll change. But from what I've seen so far, like I'd say it's pretty good.
Why is it called Boltgun?
I am not
That's
sure.
what they use. They use bolters.
The
Um,
bolters? Okay.
yeah,
Well, there
I
is
don't know
a
exactly how
okay,
they.
so that's the name of their weapon because there is a gun that I got. I think it's the 4th gun that you get, and it's actually my favorite. I would equate it to the chain gun in Doom. You don't have to reload. It slows you down when you shoot it, but it just like pumps out a whole bunch of bullets in a short period of time. But you're always running out of ammo. The chain gun was probably my favorite. And I'm sorry, am I thinking of Doom or Wolfenstein? Both Doom and Wolfenstein had a chain gun, but in Wolfenstein, it was like the top gun you could get, but in Doom, I think it was one of the lower ones.
Dude, if I
Speaking
would have
of,
asked the question with, sorry, Emilio, if I would have asked that question about the gun with Nick was here, he would have given me the manufacturer, the date it started being used in the army, the ethos of what they thought about the gun, what the enemies think about the gun. I'm a little disappointed, Bobby, but not surprised, honestly.
Yeah,
well,
I
he'll
mean,
be on because he's playing it as well, so we'll hear his.
yeah, and I can tell from his achievements that he's much further in the game. He's got 2 chapters done already, so he's about twice as far as me.
I'll also be getting a drink during his review of the game as well. Speaking of Doom, False Josiah posted this. It's called myhouse.wad inside Doom's most terrifying mod. So it's like a video in it. I was at work and I clicked it. I thought it was going to be like a 15-second. It's like an hour and a half. And it's about a guy's adventure through this Doom mod. And that there's this whole story behind it of like who wrote it and what it was. I guess at a certain time it was popular to make a mod of your house. So a lot of people were doing that. And so, you know, this one got posted and people played it and quickly found out that it was way more than just a house. Like you keep playing mirrored versions of the same house over and over and over. But they change and it gets weirder and weirder and it kind of becomes this whole psychological thing. I watched the whole video, like it was very good, very well done. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's very cool, man. Bobby, I thought you would. I really enjoy this video. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's myhouse.wad inside Doom's most terrifying mod. The guy did an incredible video of doing it, and yeah, there it is. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. Even I don't know anything about Doom, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, so that was Warhammer Boltgun, and I'm going to talk about Warhammer Tacticus. Since I did not have a computer, and I fucking got rid of Marvel Snap like 3 weeks ago because
Why,
you
dude? What happened?
You get to a point where you're like, the meta. You just kind of get sick of the meta, and you know what you're gonna play, but I had a great time with it. I don't regret the whatever $45 I threw at it or whatever it was.
Sounds like a breakup. I don't regret the time we spent together.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, I just had enough. Very probably my favorite mobile game of all time. Maybe, yeah, probably. I don't play many, but anyway, since I didn't have a computer, I was like, let me find something, and so I found Warhammer Tacticus, and I mean, yeah, it suffers from all the fucking mobile stuff. Like to get your rewards, they're on like 8. I thought Marvel Snap was bad because it's like 4 different screens to get your rewards. There's like 8 different screens. It's a tactics game, and it's actually pretty good. The core game, if it was just that, I would play it all the time. You have all these different characters, and you level them up, and you could actually play as the alien races. You could play as the Necrons. You could play as the orcs. Like it's all there. There's so much in this game, but if just the rewards are a slog, then they made the fucking game itself it's a grind fest. Like why though? I guess because they want you to pay money and make it go faster. I guess they ruined a pretty good game. It's unfortunate. But I did play it for like 3 hours. I would say I like playing games. These games until you hit the paywall and then just stop playing. Like it's just free content, if you can put up with all the bells and whistles that they're throwing at you. So yeah, if you're bored and at the airport, there you go.
Wow, that is a great.
Who is not bored at the airport?
Me, because I have a Steam Deck, motherfucker.
Okay, well, I think that's a good segue to the mobile game that I played. Exciting. It's called Call of Dragons, and I don't know what these are called. Like it's an MMO RTS or like an MMO kingdom builder. You know what I'm talking about? You build a base, you have structures in it that give you resources, then you go out fight other people, and that's the loop of the game.
Yeah, like Clash of Clans.
Yeah, Clash of Clans. And Biblioclasm in our Discord was like, is anyone playing? I'm going to make a DLG alliance. So I joined up and I had a great time. I was like, this game is awesome. But then, the mobile game post coitus hit me, and it was like, 3 or 4 hours in, you have to pay to level up. Everything is pay. 6 different currencies. Notifications all the time. Notifications every hour, every half an hour. Too much, dude. Too fucking much. And it got me so disappointed because when I was growing up, a young 12, 13-year-old in small town Alberta, just wanting to leave my mark on the world. You know how I did that? By games like this. Games like Tribal Wars and Battle Dawn, which were free-to-play text-based kingdom builders, only text. And same thing, you built resources in your town, you grouped up with other people, you took over other places, and it was fun. And as far as I can remember, the only pay-to-win elements in those were like, get a golden border around your thing or whatever, because it was text-based, there's no graphics. And so after this game, I was like, okay, I'm on a nostalgia crusade, guys. Like, I'm trying to get to where I was when I was 12 or 13. So I'm looking up Tribal Wars. I'm looking up Battle Dawn. They've remade them with all the same mobile trappings. I can't find a text-based kingdom builder. So part of why I wanted to talk about this is if you're out there and you play one or you know of one, let me know. Because I want something I can check once a day that I can play with other people. It takes me 15 minutes to check. And has no pay to win elements, and is free. That's all I want. It's easy, guys, right?
Yeah. All I want is a supermodel that doesn't talk and cooks for me. It's no problems.
What? Why wouldn't I want her to talk? Anyways, I don't get the reference. But
all right.
Did you guys ever play any of these text-based kingdom builders or free-to-play browser-based games?
No, I've never played. I don't think I've, other than toying around with Zork, I don't think I've ever played a text-based anything.
Oh, right, Zork, that one that Minnie brought up. That one was fun too. Yeah.
Isn't there an AI generated text-based game that like has no end? I think there's. We brought it up.
Yeah, there was. I remember that. It came out a while ago, but can't remember what it was called.
I'm sure they've worked on it continuously, and AI has gained so much potency since then too. That'd be interesting. I'd always been fucking interested in those, but then I hate to read, so.
Well, Battle Dawn was like 1.5. It was a map of the real world, so there was like a visual element, and when you moved your armies around, they moved 1 square every hour. So like text-based mostly, but some rudimentary graphics. Yeah, if you're out there and you played Battle Dawn, let me know. That'd be really cool. I would definitely go back to a game like this. But I would not go back to Call of Dragons, which is what I was talking about.
Was it interesting to see a visual representation of what you had previously only imagined?
Yeah, it was awesome. I like when I started playing, I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. But then, yeah, man, they want me to pay $20 to move up, and then they'll probably want me to pay $20 next month. Like, I wouldn't mind if they were upfront about the subscription. I'd probably pay it if it was fun enough. But it just like, dude, the sound effects, like a slot machine in front of me. I don't need that. I know my limits, and they're not very far. I need to get all that stuff away from me.
Yeah, I tried to get you to play fucking Monopoly slots, which isn't nearly as bad as the games that we're talking about, and you were like, no, too many notifications.
Yeah.
So Brenda Vision saying that he played a BBS. I don't know what a BBS is, but called Major Mud. But yeah, text-based games, online ones were called MUDs back in the day, and somebody explained to me that like a lot of our lingo and stuff that went into EverQuest and then into WoW all came from MUDs. So like one in particular is calling enemies mobs, MOBs. That comes from these MUDs, is what I heard.
Cool.
I don't know, and some other stuff.
Thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got one more game to talk about here.
Don't sound too excited, dude.
Sorry, I really sucked the wind out of this fucking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how excited I am for this game. I surprisingly enjoyed it despite a lot of things I didn't like. The game is called KartRider Drift, and it is on Steam. However, this is also a mobile game, and it's on PlayStation possibly Xbox. It's one of those cross-platform games where you can see what platform other people are playing on. So it's pretty embarrassing when you lose to somebody who's playing on their phone. But it is a kart a kart racer game, and it's published and developed, I guess, by Nexon. So published by Nexon America, but developed by Nexon Korea. So Nexon, I always remember them because, well, I mean, first of all, they published or made Maple Story, which a lot of people played and liked. But for me, I got really hooked on this MMO like 10 years ago. It was called Dragon Nest. It was totally random. Got so hooked on it, but I remember always being so annoyed. I had to log into my Nexon account, use the Nexon launcher. It was really stupid. But anyway, they've got this KartRider Drift game that's just your standard kart racer game with a lot of like mobile stuff incorporated. It's so stupid how they do some of the stuff. It doesn't make any sense. For instance, when you get upgrades or whatever, they come into your mailbox. You have to go into your mailbox, open your mail, get it, and then it puts it in the upgrade section. So then you go to the upgrade
Oh,
section
Jesus.
and then you unlock it, and then it puts
God
it in your
damn.
inventory. Then you go into your inventory and then you equip it.
Dude,
It's
this
it's
sounds like a
stupid.
Bobby nightmare.
It's terrible, dude.
What's that monster game where you discover the monsters? You're like a paranormal investigation team, and you didn't like how they had like the UI that you had
inventory.
to like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, this seems like 10 times worse than that.
It is terrible, dude. And you can't find your currency. You have to, the only place you can find it, we figured out, was in the mailbox. And the reason that I played this game is because the Friday crew was playing this. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And God, despite all this stupid stuff, and there are a lot of stupid stuff or stupid things, like a lot of like pay to win type of things. I actually really enjoyed it.
The
Now, I
racing
think
was
there's a
fun.
fundamental problem with kart racers. I don't play racing games, but kart racing is about as close as I get. But the issue with those is there's a catch up mechanic in them where, especially in this game, they just bombard you with the what do they call them? The upgrades or the items that you get where you can shoot stuff at the enemy or block a shot or like, do different things.
The stuff that
They-
makes it fun, yeah.
yeah, they give you a ton of that stuff. So people are always firing those things. There's really just not a whole lot of skill. If you get really far ahead, that just makes you a target. So it doesn't matter. It all comes down to like right before the finish line, like who hits what or who hits who with an item right before you're about to cross the finish line. So you don't really, I don't know. I feel like the kart racers, they give you the feeling of you are making progress, but really it doesn't matter. You could be doing absolutely terrible the entire game and still get first place if the right thing happens right before the end. So it feels very random.
It it also become resource management is definitely something. If you get a lightning bolt in Mario Kart on the second lap and you hold it till the right section on the third lap, then you can hit that lightning bolt right before and you can take the game a lot of times. So you got to try to have to know when to use it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
timing. It's
yeah,
timing.
know
But
when
this
to
game,
use
they give you it way more than Mario Kart. They give you those items way more often.
Yeah.
And they've got modes where you can play without those, but nobody plays it. Every time we queued up for that, we just got queued with bots.
It's almost like crabs in a bucket. They're all trying to get out, and then whoever the first one out is happens to be the first one. You're having fun trying to crawl out. You're trying your best, and I think that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
Crabs have fun too when they're doing that.
Do they?
who knows? I don't know.
And the drifting's a little weird in this game too. I don't really like how it feels, but then again, it is a mobile game. It's like a cross-platform mobile game. Inexplicably 17.2 gigs to install this on your computer. Don't
Wow.
know why that is. That is crazy. Yeah. What are they installing? But despite all this, I still had a good time. And I think it was because I was playing with friends and you're allowed to race as a team. So we're queuing up. There were 4 of us and we're queuing up against another group of 4 every single time. And then, based on the standings, it determines whether you win or lose. So if you have enough people in the higher bracket, then you win. But yeah, man, this would be a good game. If you're looking for something to do, it's free to play. So this would be a good game if you just have some friends online, and the rounds take like 3 minutes or less than 5 minutes. Like they're super quick. So, it'd be fun to play with you have like friends and you don't know what to play. And the only problem is 17 gigs, because
Bobby,
that's always a thing.
I just searched your hard drive right now, and I found the 15 gig file that says
Yeah.
bitcoinminer.exe. Just letting you know.
Bitcoinminer.exe. Yeah, that's subtle.
Completely hidden.
I do kind of want to go through the game's files and just see what exactly, because if people are playing this on their phone, obviously they're not downloading a 17 gig version of it. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it was like when last week after the show, or 2 weeks ago after the show, when we were all going to play Sea of Thieves and you didn't have it downloaded. I'm like, dude, that game's 90 gigs. And by the time you had it downloaded, you had to go. So
Oh yeah. But now, this is a perfect segue. So I got fiber. I don't know, like 2-3 months ago, by this little company that fucking started to fucking use old utility lines that nobody else was using and brought fiber to the masses, which is great because um, Cox is our communications around here, and you don't get a choice. There's no choices.
mhm.
It's no bid contracts. They just buy entire neighborhoods and then they own it, and that's the only place you can get your ISP from, and it's fucking bullshit. So I was like, yay, capitalism, because these guys figured out a way to get their thing to us. So, but my internet's been spotty, and even though I get 900 to my router, like it hasn't been whatever. So I'm outside. I'll tell the whole story because it's kind of funny. I'm outside and I'm about to paint this room because I'm painting the floor, right? And I'm in my work clothes still, so I'm out there. These sales guys come up with AT&T stuff, and they're like, "Hey, do you want fiber?" And I was like, "I already have fiber with," and blah blah blah. So he goes, "You have a really beautiful house, man." And I go, "Well, it's not mine; it's hers." And Roberta, my mother-in-law, was sitting in her car right there. And he goes, "Oh shit, are you the gardener?"
Oh no.
Like he had already pitched me, and we were already like 5 minutes into our conversation, and I was like, no, like I live here, she doesn't. Yeah, I have, whatever." So anyway, yeah, he thought I was the like gardener. And where am I going with this? Oh, so we get the fiber through AT&T. It's cheaper, it's better, it's AT&T, it's a big company. Hopefully I get better in service. And the sales guy comes over the next day. Like, this went so fast. They're installing the shit, and there's a sales guy. He's like, do you guys want all new cell phones and just switch over to AT&T, and we'll pay off all your old cell phones and give you $200 per phone that switches over?
Wow.
Like, yeah, dude, like, fuck. How could I possibly turn that down, dude?
You are somehow consistently finding ways to get new phones.
I
Like
don't
3 times a
want
year.
to, dude. I really
Don't
love
want to.
I really like my Pixel
They
XL.
can't stay away from me. They keep giving me new phones. I can't say no. I can't.
I love my Pixel fucking 7 Pro, dude. I love it. And I had a really hard time, but the whole family was switching over. And my family always gives me shit about fucking not having an iPhone because I can't FaceTime them. And I'm the one with the green text that fucks everything up. So I'm like, Jesus, I really don't want to. But like for $200. And then I realized, like, I switched over. I'm on iPhone now. I don't know how to use this thing. Like, I feel like
Yeah, they're so different.
I feel
I
like
have
a
a work
4-year-old
phone that's
dude.
an iPhone.
I don't know what I'm doing. And obviously I'll get it. I'm gonna use it like nonstop. But what was I gonna say? New phone or whatever. I lost my train of thought.
I
But
thought
anyway,
the salesman was going to give you the plunder pass. He was like, "Hey,
I
we have a
should have got
special
it,
deal: 2 years of plunder pass."
dude, is that not a crazy deal though? We ended up with like $1,000 in gift cards.
It sounds too good to be true. It would
But
make
it's
me raise
AT&T.
one eyebrow.
Yeah, had this been
Well,
like,
I mean, that's what they do though. They shower you with all that stuff to get you on there. That's
Yeah.
like a big strategy.
Isn't it only like a year contract that you have to sign? It is here, at least. I don't know.
I don't know. I have a Pixel too, dude. I don't know about this stuff. I bought it like flat out. I didn't make payments or do any contracts, so I am not knowledgeable.
Yeah. We just lost Emilio with his nice fast internet. Oh, he's come back.
am I back?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
AT&T, buy it.
Yeah.
Sponsoring this show.
Yeah, I know. If only.
All
Who
right.
wants a?
Well, I think that's about it for highlights. This is the last week to sign up for DLG Con.
Holy shit!
No,
Sorry.
Yeah.
it's the last one where you get to guarantee yourself what room you want to pick, right? They can
No,
still sign
this-
up later.
I
They
think this
could,
is
but
it.
but they might not. We might not have space after this. We're gonna
Oh,
go with
right.
this number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
we're gonna find a place based on the number that we have after this week. So, last opportunity. DLG Con is something that we're going to be doing in the first week of November, right during BlizzCon, as a matter of fact. Very early in November, we're going to all be meeting up in San Diego, hanging out, playing a bunch of tabletop games, video games, card games, Magic, all that stuff, eating a bunch of really good food. People are going to be cooking stuff up, hanging out around San Diego. It's going to be a great time. So if you want to be a part of that, you can jump on over to our Discord. Just go to dlgaming.net, join our Discord, and there's a channel in there or actually, what will be a lot easier, I'm going to link the sign-up sheet in the description of this podcast episode. So
Go
you
to
can
the
just click on that.
description. Go there. And guys, we're looking at like tickets. The most expensive they're going to be is $700. That includes food, some food for the weekend, at least one big meal usually.
that's the most expensive, and then
That's
what's
the
the
most. And then the least is 400, you know? So we're going to try to find a price that works for everyone's budget, but we're not blowing the bank here, right? It's a weekend in San Diego, food and friends. It's not really that expensive. I'm coming all the way from Canada. Almost wasn't though. That was going to be a sad time. So
bottom? You could have taken a trip with Roconius on his private jet that he has.
true.
He just said right now that he owes a deposit, so that's one more, I guess. So we could add one more. That's
one
good.
more.
Because
Wonderful.
we're trying. Okay, right now I think we're in the middle house with the people, or are we going fucking Rockstar Mansion? I don't think we can go Rockstar Mansion.
If if a couple more people sign up, we can go Rockstar Mansion. But right now
Yeah.
we are on property 3. If you are looking at the same sheet as I am, when you join Discord and you're looking, where are we going to stay? What are we going to be doing? What's the house look like? It's linked to a Google sheet that has 4 of our options. And
Guys, there's nothing
cool.
wrong with option 3. There's nothing wrong.
no,
But
there's
I'll tell
nothing
you
wrong with
what's
it.
I'll tell you what's right. Rockstar fucking Mansion. That's where we want to get. And it's
too
not like
much.
it's not like I want to fucking I'm trying to push this because we make I talked to you guys about this. Full disclosure, we don't make any money on this. I want to go to the Rockstar fucking place, dude. Like, it's so dope. It has so many things. So yeah, let's do that.
It'll
do
be
that.
the richest place I've ever stayed. Like, it's ridiculous. It's too much.
But for a weekend, you can flirt with rock style lifestyle. For one
yeah.
weekend, dude.
We all
I'm
can. I'm not too much of a saint for a weekend. Let's go.
So if we add work on this, that puts us at 17, right? And we were aiming for 20 for the Rockstar. I think, is that right? Whatever
I
it
don't
is.
think that's exactly right, but we can get.
We're
the numbers
between.
After.
We need like 3 to 5 more people, and that's not a lot. So just go look at the stuff and see that you don't fall in love with it. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. Plus, you get to see me shirtless.
Oh, boy.
That is a positive. Yep, for sure.
Okay, before we move on to listener questions, quick shout out to our subscriptions. Hinks, 59 months. He says, wow, you guys are nice and early so I can watch from the UK. Yeah, that's why I like the earlier recording time so we can cater to our European viewers.
That's what I was thinking. I hate it because I feel like a lush when I start drinking at this early, but
I mean,
I'm
it is
nursing a
Sunday.
hangover right now.
Pretty sure you can drink at noon on Sunday.
Yeah.
59 months. I didn't realize he had so many months racked up. Good for
That's
you,
like
man.
It's like a car lease, or fucking, that's a 59-month contract. You're like, all right. Yeah.
I think he likes
That's
us.
a commitment. It's good.
We never talk to him. He's subbing to us, but he's from the UK. We don't even. Sad. It's sad.
Yeah, it's because we don't start early. We got to start early. And yeah. Okay. Next one from King Tyron, 9 months, says, I love you, Guy. Now, he later corrected this to guys, but I think he meant I love you, Guy, and was referring directly to Christian.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think you are the guy there. All right. And then last one, Burn Division, 27 months. Nice.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
We
everyone.
appreciate it, dude. All right, time for some listener questions. So we had some leftover from last week, and we've got some new ones this week. They are all from Warconius here.
It's
So it's going to
fucking
be the
crazy, dude.
Warconius.
The Warconius show.
Warconius.
Yep, this is going to be the Warconius show here. So first one, this is for Emilio. How far did you get in Days Gone? I know you were playing, but I can't remember if you mentioned where you got to, and did you end up getting to the fort?
Hard to say. Like I definitely got to a like a settlement of people that was ran by like an old lady. And that's where I'm at. Whatever.
I want to say Nick got the furthest in this game. I think he played it on console.
I'm fucking up. I need to play this. I started playing it on my Steam Deck, but it's just too many pixels for that thing to push, and so I'll go back to the PC. Maybe after Tomb Raider. Remind me if I start playing something other than after Tomb Raider, start playing something other than that. Let me know, Warconius. I do want to play this game on PC, and yeah, I was like, I think somebody bought it for me. Like I owe it. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Any PC predictions for the Sony showcase next week? Okay, I think we're behind the ball on this one. Okay, so this was an older question. But he predicted Last of Us Part 2 for PC, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for PC, Ghost of Tsushima, and a couple more for PC. What did they announce? They announced something that one thing that was interesting to me, and I can't remember what it was.
That Warconius is actively chatting right here.
Helldivers 2. They announced Helldivers 2.
Awesome. Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I might check that out because Helldivers 1, I played that way after the fact, and I was a little disappointed. I was like, this could have been, it's got some cool stuff to it, but after you've played a bit of it, it gets really old really quick. So I don't know. I'm hoping 2 has a little bit more going on.
Assassin's Creed Mirage, was that of interest to anyone here? I've fallen out of love with the Assassin's Creed games kind of a while ago. I haven't really kept up.
What setting would be Mirage? Is that like a desert setting?
You would think. I don't know much about it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't interest to anyone here. Okay, cool.
Warconius says, yeah, only Helldivers for PC was announced. So.
Okay.
He said, and he also says, yeah, this is almost like having my own personal podcast. I thought that was pretty good.
Mirage. I don't think that's coming out for PC, at least not before it comes out for console.
It says I'm looking at that it's coming out for PC, but we can. Maybe it's all a mirage.
If it was a post-apocalyptic world and just me and you were there, I'd still podcast directly to you, buddy, just for you.
All right, next question. Almost halfway through the year, what are your top games of the year? I've been really enjoying Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I think everybody knows mine is Returnal for sure. I love that game.
Fuck, have I played any games that have...
Yeah.
Have I played any games that have come out in 2023? God, that's embarrassing. Victoria 3 came out last year. Shit.
That's okay. That's applicable. You can get Victoria 3. Yeah.
Victoria 3. Yeah. Star Wars Rebellion, 1998.
Yeah, I don't know. Top games of the year, I couldn't tell you. I haven't played anything like that amazing, like any new games.
You know, a little extra kudos to Helldivers. I gotta bring up. I just thought of it. It was the first, I believe, it was the first Sony game to bridge that gap to PC, and now
it was the first Sony game published on Steam.
Okay, that's a different words for the same thing I just said. And then
yeah, get wrecked. Goddamn, Emilio. Jeez.
But like that paved the way, and now I got to play God of War on my PC. So thank you, Helldivers.
Sorry, that asphalted the way. Okay, please. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
He says or asks, why is there a Weather Channel? Old people love the Weather Channel, man. I'm sure we'll all find out when we get old. will understand its true value.
Yeah. It's
I like.
it's porn for the impotent. Ooh, that was rough, huh?
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
Yikes.
Damn.
And he asks, do you have a media rig on or media drive on your rig? If yes, when's the last time you used it?
I don't know what that means.
So do you have a hard drive on your computer that you use just to store media?
Oh, I know Bobby does. Bobby has terabytes, dude.
Yeah.
Gulps, dude.
God, dude, I had
Terragums.
two 18 terabyte hard drives in my computer, and I think they're coming out with 22 terabyte hard drives now. Like it's just getting ridiculous. And I knew this was going to happen. They had predicted like 30 terabyte hard drives before the end of the year or something.
Are those
But
solid state or are those
no,
old
dude,
spinning diskies?
you can't get a solid state that size. I think the biggest solid state I've seen 4 gig or 4 terabytes, maybe 8. Like that you can actually purchase for a reasonable cost. I think 4 terabytes. But
Michio Kaku was on Rogan and he was talking about what's it called? Quantum computers. And if we basically get these things going the way we want them to, it's going to be, bigger than the internet. Huge changes to everything, just answers to all things. But he did make a reference to whatever you put. We were finally get the supercomputer, ask it the answer to everything. It's going to be 42, which I thought was funny. This guy built a particle collider in his garage at 17, a functioning particle collider. He blew all the circuits in his whole fucking living room. It's like a fucking something out of a movie, dude. 17 years old, particle collider.
That's pretty
Crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
they probably got a YouTube video that'll teach you how to do that.
Yeah. Well, he's
Bobby's
like
not
70
impressed.
now, so
Okay, they didn't have YouTube back then. Okay, last question. What's a movie or TV show that was really important or impactful to you, but you haven't thought of it in a long time? He suggests the Bourne movies. Never seen any of those. Seinfeld, Terminator, Blackadder, Taken, or Lost.
Dude,
interesting.
I just rewatched. I mean, I think about it all the time, so whatever. It's not perfect with the question, but Star Wars Episode 5. After I watched it, I just sat there. I was looking at Rianne, and I was like, "This is telling each of us to go out of our way and do something brave to make the world a better place." Like that's what I get from it. And every time I watch that movie, I'm like just transported back to when I first watched it, and like my parents were behind me, and all my siblings were around me, and I do feel like that movie makes me have a better outlook on life. If I didn't have that experience when I was young, I don't know if I would have gotten it in another way. Does that sound too intense? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Episode 5? Oh, that's
Yeah.
so weird. Oh, okay.
Because-
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
All right.
Empire
yeah,
Strikes
sorry.
Back, bro.
Because
What the
Alright.
fuck is wrong with you, man?
Yoda's like, stay in college, stay in Jedi college.
Right.
And he's like, but my friends, they're going to die. And he's like, you're going to lose if you go. You just have to stay and learn for a bit. And then
It's a trap. It's obviously a trap.
it's obviously a trap, but everything works out. And that doesn't always happen in real life. But the sentiment behind it, I feel like, is valid.
Yeah. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about it that way, man, but you're right.
Thanks, dude.
Way to make an enjoyable piece of media a lesson.
Yeah.
I mean, those old Star Wars movies, they were a little didactic at times, but yeah, I don't know why. I was thinking Episode 5, and I'm thinking of Attack of the Clones for some reason. I got my numbers mixed up, and I'm
You're
like,
like, that one?
really? Wow, dude, you
Wow,
got that
dude.
out of it? You didn't get
Dude.
lost in like all the geopolitical bullshit that was going on?
No. I never went back to the beach after. I was like, dude, I hate this stuff too. I know why. It sucks.
I don't know, a movie or TV show that I don't think about a lot. Yeah, this always happens where I'll remember one that I'll remember a movie that I loved but has somehow like was completely erased from my memory. And the last time that I think that happened was with Galaxy Quest. It's such a fantastic movie, and I had just completely forgot about it. And I don't know, somebody mentioned it or it turned up on Letterboxd somehow, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot all about that.
Is
I
that the
watched
one
it.
with Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Allen. It's the best Star Trek movie ever made, basically.
They go to
It's a
Mars,
parody.
that one, right?
Do they go to Mars? I don't know. It's got a
I've seen
very
that.
young Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office, and Missy Pyle. It's got some actors in it that uh, it was before they had really become these big famous people. But it's a comedy, but then there's like these moments that are just that play so well dramatically too, with what's his name, the bad guy from the third Die Hard. It's that Jeremy Irons. I don't know. It's an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, it's so good and it holds up incredibly well. And it's kind of like just nobody's bringing that movie up these days, right? Except me, I suppose.
I think Star Trek: The Next Generation was extremely formative for me. Like, I watched that religiously, and I enjoyed it as a kid. But little did I know that I was using whatever it was teaching me to become a man. Like generally, it's in general they're trying to do good, right? So
Yeah.
most of the stories end up trying
Yeah.
to do the right thing.
But Gene Roddenberry was like a huge futurist. Like he believed all that stuff, dude. He believed
Yeah.
in the future we weren't going to have money and that there was going to be like intergalactic peace and all this stuff. I mean,
we're not
we're
there
still
yet,
working
maybe.
we're working our way. It's taking a little while. When does Next Gen take place? That's like 2400, something around there.
I don't know. Also, Deanna Troy was like I was so hard for Deanna Troy, like so much so that I ended up like liking curly haired girls, like with black hair, like her, like a Greek look. That was kind of my thing for a long time, probably based on her. Yeah, there's that. And then movie wise, I've brought this up on the podcast before, and Bobby ended up watching it, called Quest for Fire, a French film about fucking cavemen. That shit, like, I watched that way too young. I was way too young to be watching that, dude. And that I was like, what is this? Like, I don't think I even had a concept of what like cavemen really were and stuff. And I don't know if it's correct or anything, but I think about things in that
Historically
movie
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a very young Ron Perlman in that movie playing a caveman.
Greg Hancock says this is the answer. So,
dude. Okay, he's full of himself. There's a lot of shots of his face for no reason because we're talking about geography. But like, watch the show. Like,
he's so out to
check
lunch,
out one
dude.
episode. Check out one episode.
I've seen him before. Like I know his face. I've seen him do other things than this.
Like,
series.
it's not a crazy thing to think that there was an apocalypse that wiped out a civilization 13,000 years ago, and that civilization was probably pretty far off, like technologically. If you think about how many generations we've had in 300,000 years, right? And how much
Are we
progress
talking about the
made.
Egyptians again?
I think
kinda.
that's the problem though, because it asks you to just think about it. You can just think about a lot of stuff, but what is
Well, there's evidence, dude. There's evidence.
what is the actual like archaeologist like? I don't know. Whenever I see his face pop up, it's always someone disproving his content that is like an archaeologist or someone like, oh, he's kind of wrong here, he's kind of wrong here. So his grand thesis idea actually has so many holes in it. That's what I see. But
okay, just watch the show, dude. That's all. I'm asking you to watch the show.
God, the what if?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's right.
Oh, have you guys seen Stargate? And
yeah,
could that be a possible reason for the Egyptians?
Stargate was awesome. Yeah, it could be for sure.
All right, I think that's an episode.
Yeah.
What's everyone playing next week?
Tomb Raider and XCOM.
All right, Christian, are we playing Kingdoms 2 Crowns?
I think we should make a good effort to try, Bobby, at the very least.
$5 on Indie Gala, so I'm going to grab it. You let me know if you want to play it. I did play some Sea of Thieves with Gummy and Lotion this weekend, two of our listeners, and we had some really good runs, man. We had a great time. They don't like PvP and they're not interested in doing PvP, but we sunk our first sloop. So all right, I'll tell the story. It's kind of interesting. So we had a big hole.
Did you see how nervous he looked? I'll tell. I mean,
it's a story, dude. I don't know if I want to go down this bird walk right now.
Bobby, Bobby, when you sunk the sloop, were you on Megan the Galleon?
No, we were not.
Oh.
We've been playing on Captain Gummy's ship, the Dirty Dangler.
The dirty
Yeah. But so they're not great at PvP. I'm not great either, but I have an interest and I'm trying to become better.
Then what the fuck have you guys been doing? If you're not I don't know. I don't know much about the game.
Yeah,
You've
we've just
been
been doing the PvE stuff. So we did, I think it was like a Fort of Fortress or something, and you get some really good loot out of that. And we're bringing it back, and we've got these barrels. We've got a lot of kegs, which are really dangerous to carry on your boat. And we've got like super kegs. And Gummy's like, I saw a sloop out there. They're doing something on that island. I'm just going to take the rowboat out with this stronghold keg and go blow them up. I'm like, all right, dude, go for it. And me and Lotion were go to turn in all the loot. So he goes out and does that, and he suicides. He kills himself in the process of doing it. And he thinks he's sunk him. And he's like, oh, got him. Yep, got him. All right, I'm coming back. And so we're offloading all the loot. We finish getting all the loot turned in. We sell it. Then we hop back on the boat and we start heading out to where we think he sunk the ship because we're going to go grab their loot. They're still out there and they're coming right for us. They're not happy. So they in PvP, and this is something I've learned playing the game, you've got to start with chain shot, especially against a sloop. You've got to knock their mast down. That's always how you have to start. So they start nailing us with chain shot. They knock our mast down and we get into a fight with them. And it's not going well. We're on the ropes. All right. Lotion's just down. He's the bilge rat. He's just bucketing and repairing constantly. I'm on cannons trying to get shots. Gummy's trying to steer it. But for the most part, we're just trying to get our mast back up because we're just dead in the water there. But somehow we turn it around. And I think it's because we had sunk some ghost ships and they give you these really good cannonballs. So I got a good angle on them and I just start pummeling them with these cannonballs. Boom, boom,
That's
boom.
awesome.
And we finally sank them. And I don't know how we did it, man. But and I think it was the first time, at least with Lotion, I think it's the first time he's ever like sunk another enemy ship. And we're like, oh, great. We're all like super happy. And we're all about to log off. And I'm like, okay, we've got all these supplies. We've got like 500 cannonballs. We got all this meat. We've got like all these resources. Let's just do one round of PvP. Let's do Hourglass. Let's queue up. We'll probably lose, but whatever. And they've never done that. And I was like, okay, well, get ready because these guys are serious. Like we're probably going to get our asses kicked. And so we go in there, and sure enough, we lose like in 2 minutes, dude. They just demolish us.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, huh?
In the PvP. So yeah, but I don't know. PvP is like a whole nother ballpark with Sea of Thieves. It's like a completely different game, and I have a big interest in it, but I can tell these guys don't. But it was a good time, man. We had a great run. I still like the PvE content too.
Bobby, the chain so that just attaches you, or does it reel you in?
No, the chain shot breaks mass. It has a wider hit box, so it's a lot easier to hit the mass. But if you hit the mass, it knocks them down and they can't move. It's like anchoring them, basically. That's another strategy, is to board their ship and drop their anchor. So you jump on their ship, you drop the anchor, and then you throw a fire grenade on it and you start attacking them so they can't raise it back up. But yeah, it's all about getting them stuck so you can just circle around and pummel them with cannonballs.
How do you get from your ship to their ship? I guess you
can shoot yourself out of the cannon.
Is that the only way, or is there?
I mean, you could swim over, but you're probably not going to catch them. If they're chasing you, then you can just jump off the back and board.
Right.
But when you go into the water and get far enough away from your ship, a mermaid pops up that lets you teleport back to your ship. The enemy can see that mermaid, so if they're smart, they'll see it and know that someone's trying to board. But yeah, usually in a fight, you just shoot yourself over.
I want to play more Sea of Thieves, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean,
is this the only game where you can tell a story like this? Like, we were on the high seas. Like,
Bobby, you need to bring a Sea of Thieves story every week. Like, they're enjoyable.
Dude, I got them, man. I had a good time playing with them, but there's other people that I play with too, and it's so funny how everybody has their own play style. I play with this other guy who I'm pretty sure he's like a 15-year-old kid, but he doesn't want to fight at all. He wants to make friends with everybody. And then he'll say like, well, we'll give you the chest of fortune, or you can have the chest of legends, and we'll just take the other stuff. He always wants to like barter this partnership.
Cool.
No,
awesome.
It's not, dude, because people they'll like, yeah, sure. And then they'll turn around and blow you up, dude. Like people will screw you. And I'm like, dude, you can't like, you can ally with other
shit here, dude. You're like, you can't trust people, kid.
Can't trust anyone on the
step on theirs before they step on
These
yours.
are pirates, man. It's in their
blood. Dog world out there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So I just like I'll just fire on everybody. You know, I'm just like I very rarely try to make friends on that game or ally because it usually doesn't end well.
Bibliocasm had a lot of caffeine this morning.
Yeah, he's chatting up a storm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it, folks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I guess I'll hit the outro button. Bye. Oh wait, no, we have another outro. Sorry, dude.
Are we not picking our own songs? I haven't picked one since we came up with this whole thing.
Well, we need to have it here before, so sorry about that.
All right.
Okay, do the thing you do, Emilio.
Oh yeah. Speaking for Christian and Bobby, pirate titties. Bye.
Graham Hancock titties.
I don't want to see any of those.
Who made this for us?